my children! A creature feature is a kind of horror movie focusing on a monster, usually the type of thing that'd be shown off on late-night TV with a horror host. So it's appropriate that I am doing the same with this comic and its own creature features.
The book is a black and white anthology, my children, and it begins with Bioillogical. Bart Stanton is a wanted biological smuggler, taking biological samples on diseases and distributing them on the black market to anyone who might want to circumvent quarantine or the like on different worlds. However, he and his ship recently crashed and doctors are trying to keep him alive despite the bizarre and extensive damage done to him. In his memory, he recalls what happened, he and his partner Benedict trying to get a sample of a plant before said plant attacked Benedict. Bart tried to help him as he was dragged into a cave, only to find some aliens vivisecting Benedict alive for scientific study. We don't know exactly what happened after Bart opened fire on the aliens and fled, but his heart gives out on the operating table from the stress of remembering, and the doctors say they'll ship his body over to the research department. Next up is the grease trap. It's kinda gross, frankly, dealing with a meek man who has a shrill wife who's complaining about the clogged up toilet. The plumber, who, while a bit rude himself, at least sympathizes with the meek man for how jerkish his wife is, and talks about all sorts of mutated creatures that can grow in septic systems, including the squid-like being that soon eats him. And, well, the meek man decides his wife might want to take a look at this herself.
Pretty sure this is just the crate from Creepshow, but with more poop.
Let's move on to Mosquito. The greatest warrior in a tribe wants to find himself a wife, but thinks none of the women in his village are beautiful enough.
Greatest warrior, greatest jerkass!
In a nearby village, he finds a woman he considers to be the most beautiful he has ever seen, and curiously, has no wife. The village elders tell him it's because she's actually a demon.
Which is odd then that they just let her continue to stay in the village.
And the warrior balks at this idea and marries her, taking her back to his own village. His rudimentary tests to see if she really is a demon don't find anything wrong, so he writes it off. Soon, however, people in the village start dying off, something going out at night and sucking all the blood from their bodies. Eventually, it is proven to indeed be the wife, and the warrior tricks her into a hut to burn her to death. She pleads to be let out and to drink one more person's blood, claiming that she has been a demon for 300 years, but one more person's blood will make her human. He resists doing so, but out of the ashes emerges a tiny insect that sucks some blood from the warrior's arm. The first Mosquito. We continue with the Cult of the Eye. A woman is searching for information on a cult that has brought about an apocalypse. Large creatures looking like floating eyeballs have been attacking and devouring people. Her search brings her to a man named Bauer who runs the cult, but he claims the eyes will bring about the next stage of human evolution, that their creation was done through the mind of a scientist named Professor Lobley. She hunts down Lobley, who claims that the eyes have somehow come about because of his own imagination, belief from the cult channeling their power through his mind. Unfortunately, as the woman tells him, the eyes have their own independent thought and agenda, and will soon kill everyone who isn't useful to them, Lobley himself included. Lobley flees with her, and when he reveals that the eyes will keep coming back as long as his imagination exists, she shoots him in the end. A not great story, my children.
Perhaps we should put it to vote. All who enjoyed the story say aye. The ayes have it.
We then move on to It's an Okay Life. A man tries to commit suicide by slitting his own wrists, but can't bring himself to do it. He is visited by his guardian angel, who admits that just like the Jimmy Stewart movie, he needs to help the man not kill himself to earn his wings. Despite his efforts, the angel comes across like he doesn't actually care about the man and whether or not he commits suicide, so in the end the man hangs himself. And it's shown why he was so bad at preventing the suicide. Because he was actually a demon, and earning a very different sort of wings. And finally we end with Insight Out. An interplanetary salvage team of 3, Temi, Giovanna, and Hakim, arrive on a planet with a structure once belonging to a race called the Yargni. The Yargni died out thousands of years ago, but the technology inside of it could make them all very rich. Tracking a signal inside of it, they discover a matter teleporter still in operation, though only just barely. A Yarg had stepped into the machine a long time ago, and it was already in disrepair when it happened. The creature's teleport signals cycling over the last few centuries and degraded considerably. Despite Giovanna's objections about not wanting to tamper with the equipment, the other two believe they can save its life, and need to try if there's any hope of rescuing it as entropy increases on it. They succeed in materializing it, somewhat, as some kind of feedback occurs that turns the creature inside out. And yet it is still alive, as soon Hakim is absorbed and Giovanna begins transforming, screaming that the Yarg wants her mind and he is sucking her in. Soon the Yarg attacks again and enters Temi's brain, transforming her as well. It reveals that the Yargni were a hive mind that absorbed any others they came into contact with, wanting to bring love, community, and understanding to all beings in the universe. And will do so now with humans, trapped as they are in their isolated little minds. And thus Temi heads off to spread the joy of the Yargni and end the loneliness of the people of Earth.
But you'll never need to feel alone with me around, my children. Moarte will always be there to provide such warm, touching stories to you all.